Well, welcome to Technology and Education Today. I'm Richard Smith.
And I'm Caroline Crawford, and we are coming to you from the University of Houston Clear Lake in Houston, Texas, USA.
And today we are talking about the concepts of push and pull in education.
In education, or specifically in the instructional design world?
Good call.
Hey, thank you, every once in a while.
Because push,
I always surprise them.
push and pull, while they fall in the world of education, come under a specific area. And that area is the area of instructional design for professional organizations. So we have the concept of push, which is sending instruction directly to the students in an order, or what we would call in the K through 12 area, direct instruction. And then we have pull, which is where the participants who are receiving the instruction, the students or the learners, pull or select what they want to learn from a menu of things or possibilities that they can learn. Now,
I gotta say, this is the silliest thing I've ever heard. We've had teaching strategies for years, so what? What's the news?
Well, the news is that the big question is, in the instructional design world, is what is more effective? Is it push instruction, or is it pull instruction? And
the answer is yes.
And that question goes on in the kindergarten through 12 world also, where it's called direct instruction versus
or constructivist learning.
Constructivist, yes, your favorite type of instruction, yes.
Well, the thing that drives me crazy about constructivism is that most constructivist people who claim that they're constructivists forget that there's the knowledge base, and that is the direct instruction component. So that's what I have a problem with many people who frame themselves as constructivists. Oh, well, the student will learn and it's discovery learning. No, it's not. No, it's not. They have to have a knowledge base, the push stuff that you're talking about, before they have enough understanding, the conceptual framework of understanding, Vygotsky, in order to understand what's appropriate and how to understand the information that they're gleaning.
Well, yes, but the problem is that I think in both worlds, in the instructional design world and in the K through 12 education world, the gut feeling now is that you should not provide direct instruction. There should be more of this what's known pull, or student-centered, or constructivist, or problem-solving education.
Focusing upon the higher order thinking skills.
Always, yes, always. Well, that goes without saying, is focusing upon higher order thinking skills, which presupposes that you cannot focus upon higher order thinking skills with direct instruction.
But the thing about higher order thinking skills in Bloom's taxonomy is that you have to have the knowledge before you can go up to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. So you have to have the lower order thinking skills to frame the information before you can potentially reach the higher order thinking skills. So to me, the whole concept is flawed. The theory behind it all is flawed.
Well, very, very nicely said.
Well, it's just silly. Let's just throw them out there and see what they come up with.
Well,
really? That's why you're being paid? That's why the whole instructional design concept came about? Really? That's silly.
I constantly hear that, and at the same time, and I don't want to associate anything without any clear evidence, but of course the scores of students on standardized tests have been dropping and dropping with all this constructivist education that's going on.
Well, I'm sure there are many other components that are impacting that other than the teaching strategy that's being implemented.
Oh, now you're going to come back with me with scientific explanations.
I use big words once in a while.
No, you're right. But
I'm just throwing it out there and see where you go from here.
But if I have a set of students, let's say students who are adults, and they are in a business, they have to learn something, or they're in the military for that matter, and they have to be taught something. If I give them a menu of items that they can select and choose from what they want to learn, what is the assurance, one, that they will choose the correct items to learn what's truly important, and two, that they will select those items in the correct order that they need to learn it, and three, wouldn't it be better if I, as the instructor, selected all the items that they needed to learn, put them in the proper order, and just simply taught it to them?
Well, as you mentioned the military, let's talk about that for a moment. Learning how to shoot a gun. One might imagine you'd need a little bit of direct instruction, some push instruction, in order to understand how to load the gun, how you're supposed to set up to frame and shoot and actually hit the target that you desire. And then the student will go through the process of training themselves, the whole thing, asking questions and working with the product in order to reach a higher level of quality.
I think that also something else that you might want to push to the students would be gun safety rather than trying to let
Who knew, right?
let them figure out. You can tell that we're coming to you from Texas, can't you?
Well, you're the one that brought up the military, so I'm just playing with that.
But seriously, I mean, that is a very good illustration. Do I really want the students to discover safe principles?
To figure out how not to shoot someone?
When people over hundreds of years have developed a set of rules for safe gun handling, I don't think so.
And much as Darwin would suggest, and they survived.
Such a sense of humor.
Why, thank you. I've had my tea this morning.
I think,
caffeine's a wonderful thing.
If you have a long period of time, and there are very few institutions that have a long period of time to teach things, and this is especially K through 12 because they are limited by tests that the students have to take, standardized tests these days, and that dictates not only one, what must be taught and in what order, but two, the amount of time that you have to teach that, in which the students can need to learn it.
There's a return on investment expectation here too. Mm-hmm. Give me the information that I need. Give me an opportunity to work with it, and it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And for businesses and in the military, I think
in anyone's world, it's all already too crazy.
Probably the best method is direct instruction. When the students have reached a level of competency and above, then they might have a better idea of what they might want to elect to learn next. But the essentials, I think, have to be taught by direct instruction. Now, this does not mean that you have to lecture. It simply means that you have to put all your educational materials in a row and have your students work towards objectives in a systematic manner that the teacher has already decided that are important.
Well, we also need the cognitive opportunities. And yes, I'll pull in again the conceptual framework of understanding from Vygotsky and Wittgenstein's social discourse theory, where being able to communicate back and forth and correcting each other's understandings in an appropriate manner enhances one's understanding of the subject matter. And yes, of course, it's necessary and appropriate.
I agree. And it's lucky that I agree.
What?
I agree. Because
don't believe it.
We have reached the end of yet another production of Technology and Education Today. I'm Richard Smith.
I'm Caroline Crawford, and we are coming to you again from the University of Houston Clear Lake in Houston, Texas, USA. Bye!